Okay, we're live. Is my mic good? Carmine? Oh my God. Thank the
Yes.
Lord.
Yes,
Little
we
bit of
can hear
technical
you.
issues over on my end. I'm Lawrence Presman, and while you're watching Puck Time, Carmine Bianco, Andrew McGinnis, and Dave Koken joining us. And, well, Carm, quick question. Are we streaming?
Yes, we are streaming. We are fine. Your mic is, we can actually finally
Okay,
hear
well,
you.
let's start right
So we're
off
good
the
to go.
top. Andrew McGinnis yesterday, 5% play on Edmonton. Made an insane amount of sales, probably aged during that game, especially the second period. But a massive congratulations to you, Andrew. 10-1 run now on your 5%. Outstanding stuff. I couldn't be happier for you, bro.
Thank you, Prez. I appreciate it. We were texting a little bit during the game, and like you said over the messages, second period was stressful. It was nice to be able to breathe during the third period, and I'm still hoping that Connor McDavid gets some help. But yesterday, he didn't need any help. He took over that game on his own, and you also had a big winner as well, your game of the month in the MLB. So congratulations
True
to you
that,
as well,
bro. I'll talk about me in a sec, and Dave and Carm, just give me a second. I just want to talk to Andrew. Andrew, I freak out while I watch these 5% games that I'm playing. Carm has been with me. I scream at the TV. I pace. I take my shirt off and throw it at shit. I do a lot of things. I'm pretty much out of control when it comes to watching these games. Viv and I were talking about you last night. Are you calm? Viv says you're calm. I thought maybe you would be freaking out. So how are you during these games?
I'm good for the most part. To be honest with you, I'm only really screaming at my TV when my favorite team can't score a goal. Is the only time I really get it, But obviously, when I've got the clients on the pick, I got a 5% pick, a big record on the line. It's obviously very intense for me. But that second period had me screaming a little bit, that's for sure. So, I like to get really wound up, but it usually doesn't happen until late in the game. I don't like to be one of those guys that thinks the game is over after the first period. So it's a 60-minute game, and if it's looking bad in the third, then you'll probably hear me all the way in Ontario.
You got it. Dave Koken, one of our commentators, said, great job yesterday, Andrew and Dave. Thanks, Dina Smith. How did you do, my brother? Well, that's pretty good.
2-1.
So, yeah, 4-2 on the playoffs so far, and I'm going to have 4 plays today. I just posted one of them, and I will be posting the other ones while we're doing this show, actually. So I'm pretty happy with the NHL so far, and look, have a great day today.
We had a gentleman in here congratulate you on 2 plays. Navarre's KC. So tell me what went on with you, my brother.
Yeah, well, while I was sweating your game last night, I also had, it was that roller coaster. I'm waiting for Pittsburgh. I've got the -1.5, -150. Price played well. I'll give him that. Montreal defense, just the way they play in their own zone is incredible. They kept Pittsburgh at bay. It wasn't Pittsburgh missing; it was Montreal slowing them down. But I got that second goal. I'm like, all right, we're going to cover this. And then Montreal, of course, scores one. And then I got the empty netter with 9 seconds left to give me the win there. And at Edmonton, of course. But I'm also sweating your game. I told you, don't worry about it. Canada and the Italians got you covered, and you got a 2-run shot by Joseph Daniel Votto of Canada, the Italian, man with the Italian name.
Yeah, so, Joey Votto, one for me,
that.
And I'll get into my stuff. Andrew, your screen is moving around. I do not know why.
Yeah, Prez, I don't think anybody wants to see me this close, not even my girlfriend.
Okay, well, I have fixed it, but it will move again. How did I do yesterday? Boys, I won all 3 of my hockey games. 3-0 day in hockey, and I won my baseball play. I had a 5% play on the Cincinnati Reds. I had a 4-0 day yesterday. Check this out. I'm on a 14-0 baseball run. 14-0. I'm on a
Wow.
17-4 all sports run. 17-4 all sports run. I'm absolutely in the zone like I haven't been in a long, long time. And Dave, you've got a 4-pack up tonight. I got 3 hockey plays up at WagerTalk.com. And everybody, we are running a massive, insane promotion this week. 7 days of anyone's plays, all their sports, for only $69. The promo code is WEEK69, WEEK 69. Do not miss that. Boys, let's say hi to a bunch of people in the posting, in the chat room on YouTube, and then let's get into the first game. I just want to let everyone know on Periscope, Twitter, Facebook, if you want to talk to us, log on to our YouTube channel. Terry Edelman, nice to see you, brother. You cashed an 11-game parlay last night. That is sick and outstanding all at the same time. Way to go. Theab, nice to see you. Jared, fully on. He can't watch games he bets on TV. Probably a wise maneuver. Nice to see you. Repulate, Focus, Paco, Repo, Duff, Elliot. Oh, all of you guys. Just absolutely love having you guys take the time out of your day to join us and be with us. Boys, let's go. Florida Panthers, down 1, playing the Islanders. It's basically a pick'em game, minus 110. The over and under is 5. I think that's low. Carmen and I spoke about this last night. Look, we could all see this game being a 3-1 game. I can't touch under 5 or over 5 in this game. I do lean on the New York Islanders. Dave, we'll start with you first.
I thought the Panthers got better as the game went on, first game, and I still feel they're the more talented team. The problem with the Panthers is they don't always play smart, and they'll give up odd man breaks too often because they're so gung ho to do things offensively. But I listen, the Islanders don't create their own scoring opportunities, and if the Panthers play like like they did play in the second portion of the first game, which was smart hockey, they can shut down the Islanders, and I expect that to be what takes place in this game. Panthers, I think, should be very confident coming out of the game. I like the line in the game, quite frankly. The Islanders, it was basically a pick'em game, and to me, off the win, the Islanders probably could have been maybe minus 125 here. They're not. I'm going to go with the Florida side. It's not my strongest play of the day, but it's one I like.
Yeah, they do have more talent. I think what they don't have is as great a system as the New York Islanders, and I think the Islanders might have the best coach in hockey, and I think there's a lot going for that. Andrew, Dave and I disagree, but Dave's more definitive, so I'd probably go with his opinion, not mine. Where are you at?
Well, I think that if you look at it, these two teams, if there was one team in the St. Louis Blues that I trust to hold a 1 goal, at least the New York Islanders. This team does not need to score any more than 2 to win a hockey game, and they proved that to us. If you ask me, how if your team's up 2-1, are you nervous? Maybe a little bit. With the New York Islanders, I think it was a little bit. It was too little, too late for Jonathan Huberdeau, and I'm saying that with him scoring a goal just a couple minutes or 1 minute into the third period. And the thing is, we can talk about seeing a guy like Jean-Gabriel Pageau, who actually didn't win a game with the Islanders in the regular season, gets on the board first. He's a big pickup for them. Anthony Beauvillier, he's a big body in front of the net. I don't know. It's just one of those things. I agree with Dave that Florida, they came on in the third period and they looked strong. But the issue for me when I try and break down this game and make a case for Florida is that Bobrovsky looked good. Like he played solid. I got to give him that. But the problem is, can he do that again? And can Florida contain the Islanders like they did as well? Because, I mean, let's be honest, it was a defensive game on both fronts. So I would kind of more so look at what you said, Prez, and look at the under.
Yeah.
I feel like this team is so comfortable, no problem, getting a 1-goal lead and just protecting it. I'm not saying they're not trying to score, but they have no problem getting the puck deep and using their big bodies and spending the zone time, and it doesn't really bother them that way. So I'd have to lean here. I mean, my clients have a bet on the series with the Islanders, so I actually don't have action on this game, but I'm not going against them.
Yeah, my clients have bet on the series on the Islanders also, brother. And yeah, I lean on the under just like you. Carm, I know you're bullish on the Islanders. I think you might have even taken them to win the Stanley Cup at 4 million to 1.
Yeah, no, I did take him to win the cup, but I took him to win the cup not because I was certain they were going to win the cup, but the price on them was 40 to 1. So with the premise that I think they get by the Panthers in this series, we'll wait to see who they match up with next. But at some point, if they make it through the first couple of rounds, I can hedge out that 40 to 1 and make money. And it's only about making money at the end of the day. I'm a fan of Barry Trotz. Listen, the 7 games before this shutdown happened, the Islanders could not stop any team from scoring on them. They allowed 30 goals in those 7 games, all losses. That's over 4 goals a game. Then they come back. Obviously, like I said on the last show, I think it was actually better for them. Not that a pandemic is good for anybody, but being off, because they literally they've reset. I saw it in that it's an exhibition game, but still, it was a game they needed. When they played the Rangers, you can see they reset on a team that wasn't losing shape defensively. We're playing as a cohesive 5-man unit. They beat the Rangers in that game 2-1. They did it again against the Panthers. And this is a game, it's like Dave said, this line, I would have expected the Islanders probably about $1.30. They were $1.20, and it steamed a little bit in the opposite direction. It's -110 either way. When you get two teams and you look at it with a total of 5, they're expecting one of those low-scoring games. It's the team that ultimately gets the bounces, or their specialty teams are better than the other team's specialty teams with a goal and a goal or two. These 2-1, 3-2 games can go absolutely either way. But I just have to stick with this Isles team. They did it last year against Pittsburgh, where they absolutely shut down that Pittsburgh team that could score and swept them. And they did it winning these 2-1 games. So do they do it again with Florida? I haven't seen any indication yet to tell me that Florida is a much better team than the Islanders. So until I see it, I'm just going to stick with my Islanders play.
Carmine Bianco with us, Dave Koken, Andrew McGinnis. You're watching Puck Time. Leo Thornton, thanks for the kind words, my friend. He's enjoying this show. Guys, week 69, that's the promo. $69 for anybody's plays. 1 full week, all their sports. That's probably the best promotion we've ever given out at WagerTalk.com. Make sure to get down on that. Nashville -135 against Arizona. A total of 5 here, and we saw a big score in the first game, 4-3. They got to 7, and yet the number came down slightly. Nashville won 2 of the 3 periods. Finally got it going, but Arizona did win that last game. And, Carm and Andrew, I don't know, Dave, if they were talking about this on NBC hockey all day long, but up in Canada, it was just a constant conversation. 55-1. That's the record for teams going up 2-0 in a best-of-5 hockey series. 50.
Of course, those are all very old because they haven't played best of 5 since the 1980s.
No, absolutely. But either way, Nashville's got to win this game tonight, and I like them. I like Nashville, and I lean on the over. Dave, I'll go to you first.
I know Pecorini hasn't had a great season, and that's why they started Saros. But, veteran goalies and he's been an all-star many times. I think he's going to step up big in this game. And, let's look back at game one. I think Nashville, if they look at the tapes of game one, which I'm sure they did, they just dug themselves an early hole. They played really well for about the first 3 minutes of the game and then went through a 10-minute lull where they did everything wrong and went down 2-0. And that basically was the game, because aside from that, I thought the Predators were considerably stronger than Arizona, particularly as the game wore on. They got back into the game. They just couldn't tie it up, and then took a stupid penalty, a really bad penalty late, which really took away any chance for them to tie the game and sent it into overtime. But listen, I'm not wild about the play, because I've seen this Nashville team do stupid stuff like this for 2 seasons now. They just have not performed at their talent level, and I really don't know why, because they switched coaches in that period and it didn't seem to do any good. But on paper, they have better players than the Coyotes. They're just better. And I've got to give them a shot to even this series here. The price is not perfect. I would have liked it a little bit lower, but I think Nashville's the right side. I'm going to back, expecting Rene tonight. I'm going to back the Predators and look for them to even this series.
There you go. Dave Koken and I, we both like Nashville. Andrew McGinnis, Repulate wants to know how old you are, and I want to know what you like in this game.
I'm 23, and what I like in this game is I like the Nashville Predators in the first period, minus 130.
Ooh, that's a good call.
The reason why I like that play is that I feel like if they're going to be successful in this game, it's going to be right from the start. They're not a team that can come back after having a deficit. I'd also recommend betting them a prop to score the first goal for the exact same reason. Darcy Kemper stopped 40 of 43 shots. Great performance from him. Like Dave said, I agree with everything he said about Rene. The problem is, can he step up to the big game, the big moment, and get it done? And it's funny, Dave, talking about this team, the talent that they have, and everybody. There's only so many times that you can say the talent that somebody has until we just start saying maybe they're just not they don't have the chemistry there. And that's kind of what we've seen from this Nashville Predators team. So I hate when people use must-win game or big game, when especially it's only the second game of a series. But I really think this is a must-win. And obviously it's a shorter series this year with the qualifying rounds. If Nashville doesn't win this one, or let alone doesn't have a good start to this game, they're thinking about their family and their kids, and they're heading back home. This is a big game for them, and that's the reason I'm on the first period here. Dave talked about how the scoring touch and the control and the pace of the game. So, playoff hockey is all about winning those 50-50 battles, and it just didn't seem to be a 50-50 ratio with these teams. It was Arizona with the scoring touch, and then the Predators were winning those battles in the neutral ice. Neutral ice doesn't mean anything if you aren't getting the puck near the crease. And also in the playoffs, if you look at it, the goal charts, most of the goals happen within, let's say 3 to 6 feet from the net. Nashville is shooting from the point every time. They're shooting from the slot. They need to get in those dirty areas. They need to be a little bit more dangerous. So I like Nashville first period money line.
Nice call, brother. Scott, I like that bet. Under in first period. I like the under in the first period. I like the. Somebody asked if we're on the under in the Islanders game. I like the under in the Islanders game too. Carmine Bianco, Nashville.
Prez.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I just want to, for anybody out there that's watching, that people should know. But if it's tied and you take the money line, it'll just be a push after the first.
Okay, there you go. Carmine, where are you at in this game, bro?
Yeah, I tend to agree. I think we're going to see a better, maybe goaltending performance by Nashville. Goaltending let them down here, but it's let them down all season long. They flipped back and forth from Saros to Rene. They waited all year for one of them to grab that number one spot by the horns and go with it, and neither one wanted it. It's just one of those years for them. This is Game 2 is the biggest game in any series, whether it's a 5-game series, whether it's a 7-game series. It's a big one, especially more so when you've lost the first game. I think, like Dave said, Nashville, I believe, was the better team from the end of that first period on. If they can bring that energy that they had, not take dumb penalties, and I think we go to Pekka Rinne today. I haven't seen anything as far as naming a starting goalie, but if they go to him, hopefully he takes this as an opportunity to get between the pipes, get him a win, and stay in net. I'm taking Nashville first period for me. Based on the fact that I think they're going to come out knowing the importance of this game and wanting to get off to a much better start than going into a 3-0 hole at the end of the first.
I like that call a lot. You're watching Puck Time, everybody. $69 for anybody at Sports Memo or Wager Talk. $69 for a week of plays. Use the promo code WEEK69. And whoever just logged on to our YouTube channel, I don't know who you are, but we're at 205 live viewers. So thank you for that. Dave, what's wrong? Why are you shaking your head?
No, I'm trying to enter a first period play, and I don't know how to do it.
Oh.
So
Okay. I thought you were shaking your head at me. Our Repo Man, which I am familiar with, Dave. Repo Man asks, have we ever thought about doing an MMA show? Repo Man, we do 2 a week. Kyle Anthony does one himself off of his couch. It's actually really well edited. It's a very good show. And we have Straight from the Strip, which we do when there are MMA events in which Gianni and myself and Minty, or Gianni, Kelly, and Minty are on. So we got that covered. Find me a sport we don't do a show for, and I'll say crickets. Get it? Pun. Okay, curling show, yes. We do not have a curling show, but you know what? We could. I guarantee you Andrew McGinnis knows curling.
I might know Korean baseball, but I do not know curling.
I actually curl, believe it or not.
There you go. Carl.
Carmine, I've heard that if you curl and it's not something that you take like incredibly serious, that's actually one of the best places to go besides bowling for a few pops, I'll call it. Is that true? Your
beer number one stays cold there, but it's actually a lot of fun. I plan 4 or 5 events every usually in the winter time with my friends. We go. I'll invite you this coming winter. How's that?
Curl mine, Bianco. Yes, we do not have a darts show.
That's my favorite pun of the year. 2020. That's my favorite pun of the year right there. I like that one.
Okay, well, I didn't come up with it. We don't have a darts show. We don't have a lacrosse show, nor a rugby show, or cornhole show. Talking about show, the Leafs better show up.
What about washer toss?
Toronto minus 150, a total of 5.5. That's low for a Toronto game, high for a Columbus game. And Carm, I'm going to go in reverse order here. I'll go to you first. I'm a homer, so ignore my thoughts on this game. Go ahead, Carm.
Well, just make sure my mic is on while I was coughing
only
before.
Because you really want to hear.
we all know that the Leafs lost that first game against Columbus. I actually got out with a couple of my friends who are diehard Leaf fans, and we had a place called Jack Astor's and watched the game. I was the only guy there who wasn't cheering for the Leafs. I was cheering for the under because I had under 6 for my clients. And I'll be honest with you. I know the line has dropped to 5.5 this time around. In that game on game day, it dropped to 5.5 as well too. I'm going to go with the under again in this game. This is another one. I'm telling you, Columbus and Carolina. These are 2 teams that you just hate to play against in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Especially in the first round, they just suffocate you. And listen, they did it to the Leafs. They neutralized the Leafs in obviously between the blue lines, and just didn't give them a lot of opportunities and good scoring chances. it's one of those things where if they can replicate that same thing tonight, we're looking at a 2-1 game. Which way it goes, I don't know, but I just don't see a lot of goals in this game, not the way Columbus is playing. Torts is doing a great job. I love the fact that in his pregame interview, they said to Torts, can you tell us what you've told your team leading up into this series with the Maple Leafs? And he goes, I don't have to tell you a damn thing about what I told them. That's Torts.
You know, he's my favorite coach in all of hockey. I call him Arthur Fonzarelli.
He's a drama queen. He's a drama queen.
You know what? It's good for hockey as far as I'm concerned. Bring a little bit of that WWE style in there.
Yeah, for me, it's the under. So I'm sticking with the under here. 2-1 either way. Let's go.
Fill me in.
I mean, obviously, we know what happened in the last game. I think the good news is that you can talk about heart, we can talk about fight, and this team, the Leafs, didn't stop. I mean, they went for the full 3. I'm not saying I predicted them to stop trying, but they were shots. They were trying to get it going. But it's like I was saying, you can't shoot from the outside. You have to get in those dirty areas. And the one thing I'll say about this Leafs team, with which, Prez, I know you'll agree with me on, is that I feel like they were just trying to be too cute, too fancy, make that extra pass all the time. In the playoffs, you got to get that shot count up. You got to get more shots on target. And that's evidently going to be the message from head coach Sheldon Keefe. I mean, there's no question that's going to be the message. I mean, they're trying to make the extra pass to get that perfect goal. Sometimes in the playoffs, you're not going to get that highlight reel goal. You just need to get on the board. Yeah. I think that unfortunately, they're going to be surprised. They're going to be a little bit awakened by how Columbus played. But I think Game 2 is a bounce back spot, similar to Edmonton. Similar to Vancouver tonight, I believe. Some of these teams with a little more speed, a little more youth, they're going to wake up here in the second game, be like, okay, it's playoff mode. I know what I have to do. I know the difference between the regular season and the playoffs. It's unfortunate the Leafs couldn't, do that in the first game. But I think they'll bounce back. I'm on the Leafs to score the first goal here in this one tonight. But I do like the over 5.5. I understand what Carmine is saying. It's hard to grab any over with the Columbus Blue Jackets games, but I think that they will score a goal or two themselves. And I think that when the Leafs come off a game like that, they're gonna come firing. I also would recommend a prop bet on Austin Matthews to score a goal. You can get that around plus $1.15, I believe. And some of these guys that you expect to score, they show up.
Dave Koken, did you get your first period bet in?
No, not yet. So let's talk about Columbus and Toronto. The Maple Leafs know exactly what they're going to get out of the Blue Jackets. There's no secret to what Columbus does. The problem is the Maple Leafs couldn't figure out a way to solve it in Game 1. And I honestly don't see why there's going to be a big difference in Game 2. This is the type of team, it's really the worst type of team for the Maple Leafs to face because they're extreme, and that it takes away what Toronto wants to do. Toronto wants a wide-open game, and they're just not going to get it at all from this team. The only way they have a chance to get it is if they maybe jump to a 2-goal lead themselves at some point and force Columbus out of their game. But as long as this is tied or a 1-goal either way, Tortorella's team is going to do exactly what they did last year against Tampa Bay and exactly what they know is their best route to success against the Maple Leafs. And, we had a really good Tampa team that couldn't figure it out last year. I don't put Toronto in that category. I don't think the Maple Leafs are a particularly intelligent team. I don't think they're a very well-disciplined team in terms of their defensive style. And I think it's going to lead to them getting beat. They might win a game in this series, but I think Columbus is the right side in this series. And therefore, even though this is not a play that's going to make my card today, I would lean to the Blue Jackets in this game.
And I understand and accept that, Dave. I mean, it's a tough matchup for Toronto. I think they're going to get it done, man. They've got so much speed on that ice, and Seth Jones he just can't play all 60 minutes. I mean, the bottom line is, when Seth Jones is not on the ice, we need to score. And when I say we, I'm talking Toronto. Big Brian betting, nice win, brother. Welcome the admin, Bogars, Elliot. We love having you, brother. Scott, Cameron. So great to have you guys take time out of your day to join us. Really appreciate it. Now, everybody, take time out of your day and jump on one of us for 7 days. All sports plays. Use the promo code WEEK69. And remember, I'm on a 17-4 all sports run and a 14-0 baseball run. Marco has been talking about his 25-0 baseball run for 10 freaking years. Nothing would give me greater pleasure. Nothing. Than hitting 26-0 in baseball. There's Dave rolling his eyes. Yeah, we got... I love you, Koken. Okay, Carolina, Winnipeg. Mine plus 125 for Winnipeg. Over and under is 5.5. Calgary, Winnipeg game. Dave, I'll go to you first. What do you like?
What do you have for the numbers again?
Calgary minus 145. The total is 5.5.
Yeah, I hadn't checked my line because
no worries.
Yeah, look, I think the Flames should be up 2-0. That was, man, that was a really bad deal yesterday for them. They just killed themselves with stupid penalties. You knew Winnipeg was going to come out and focus on Kachuk and play with a lot of inspiration because they're missing 2 key guys. And they did. But it's supposed to make the job easier for the Flames. I mean, you know, they're probably a better team anyway. And the Jets are missing 2 key players, 2 really important players. And this team played right into their hands. They took dumb penalties. Both teams took dumb penalties, but the Flames, I just thought it was a mental meltdown from the opening minute, basically, of that game. And they get themselves in a hole. They come back, tie the game, and then lose it anyway. I think Calgary should bounce back here. But the key question is, are they mentally tough enough to put yesterday in the rearview mirror and just go out and play a hockey game? Because if they do that, I don't know that the Jets can beat them. The Jets' weaknesses play into Calgary's strengths. The Jets don't have good defense. Okay, their defensemen are not strong. And yet we saw time after time yesterday, Calgary, particularly when they were on the power play, and then the special teams were horrible yesterday, when they were on the power play, making these awful entry passes time after time after time, and making it easy for the Jets to kill their penalties. I just thought they played a really terrible game, despite the fact that it was close on the scoreboard. And even had they won the game, I'd be saying, boy, they played a lousy game. I've got to think in a playoff atmosphere, particularly with last year's disappointment still there, the Flames come out and play today. And if they do, they're going to beat Winnipeg. Yeah. Okay, they're just a stronger hockey team. I can't chisel it in stone. If I felt that confident, I would have made it a 5% play. But they still look to me to be the right side. The bad news is you have to lay a price, but that's the way it goes sometimes. I think the price is right enough to play Calgary in this game.
Carm, I don't know why these two teams are playing back to back. Nobody else is. Does that factor in?
I don't think so. It's a quick turnaround, but I don't think so at all. Like Dave said, with Winnipeg being shorthanded, this is one of the ones where Calgary just has to come out, get that lead, and you can bury these guys. They didn't play well to start the game. The power plays didn't play well. That third period, just the constant penalties were so stupid. Giordano tripping penalty. It just, like even the Mangiapane one where he's cross-checking the guy. There's 3 minutes left in the game. You're on top of a guy. There's no need for you to cross-check him in front of the ref 2-3 times. You're going to get that penalty all day long, and you literally put your team in a position where they could not win the game anymore at that spot because you're now playing shorthanded for 2 of the last 3.5 minutes, or two of the last 2.5 minutes of that game. I thought they played better. I thought they made a lot of errors. That Winnipeg defense looked terrible yesterday, just giving pucks away. And they put Calgary back into that game after taking a 2-0 lead. You just got to keep pressuring that defense, and you're going to get the opportunities. You're going to get the goals. I agree with Dave. I think Calgary is the play here. And I actually like I think I'm not going to say a convincing win, but they win by 2 or more here. I don't mind taking the puck line here, -1.5, plus 175.
Yeah, I'm with you, Carm. I think Calgary is the play as well. Andrew McGinnis, what are you doing?
Yeah, I said on yesterday's show that there's no need for anybody to be throwing this Winnipeg team in the garbage can, and I liked them and the under yesterday. And, look, obviously, it's evident that I'm a contrarian with this game, and I'll say it again. If we were doing a fantasy playoff draft between these two teams, or in the entire playoffs, I would have far more players on the Winnipeg Jets roster than I would have on the Calgary Flames roster. First thing I'll touch on is being disciplined. This Calgary Flames team is not, and we have to factor that in. We can't just assume they're going to all of a sudden be a lot more disciplined one day later. The youth on this team, this is going to be a great team for years to come. But I don't think they're ready for the big moment yet, and they proved that. I think if there was any team that I could really count on to get a little bit too excited about one victory early in a series, it's the Calgary Flames. They might have came in a little bit high on themselves. And we saw them celebrating, jumping up and down on the bench in the first game, and they come into the second game. I don't know if I was, obviously it's a different opinion, but I saw constant 3-on-1s, 2-on-1s. I don't even know how many there were in favor of Winnipeg. Calgary giving up the puck in the neutral zone. Winnipeg actually could have won that game by far more, I believe, if they actually buried their chances and stopped trying to be too fancy. So, and look at their defensive core. I get it. They can be a little sloppy, but here's the thing. I think that as far as physical aspect, statistically, Calgary had more hits. But the after the whistle stuff benefits the Winnipeg Jets 100%. Because Tkachuk, he'll fight, but he's mostly all talk. Blake Wheeler is a real big guy. We've got so many guys that are huge on this team, like Josh Morrissey, Dylan DeMello even. They will get in there. Kulikov, they will protect their goalie. And I think that it's really in the best interest of the Calgary Flames not to get involved in these scrums after the whistle. It negatively impacts them. And the second they start getting involved in these scrums, they start forgetting about how to play hockey.
Yeah, I think the way you win these games, when if you take what Andrew's saying as far as Winnipeg has more talented players, the way you win these series is by being a smarter team. This is how Columbus beat Toronto. This is how, if you're looking at talent and you think the Rangers have more talent, this is how Carolina is beating you. You're a smarter team. The series actually reminds me, I watched last night and I was like, these guys are playing it's such a chippy game. It reminds me of the old Montreal, Quebec Nordique games where there was just a hate for each other. For some reason, these two teams, there is a reason why they hate these teams really hate each other now, after what happened to a couple of their guys. But that this is what makes this game a must watch today. I believe it. And if Calgary is smarter today, Andrew, they win.
Dave, you wanted to add something?
Yeah, just one other note. Remember, it is the second game in 2 days. That could be something that I think favors Calgary. They were pretty good in second of back-to-backs, especially off a loss in the regular season. Winnipeg was not so good second of back-to-backs, especially off a win. They weren't, it's obviously small sample. You're only talking about 5 or 6 games, but those numbers at least would favor Calgary. And does the fact that it has to be Hellebuck, whereas Calgary has a choice as to what to do in goal. And I think they might go the other way. It's got to be Hellebuck for the Jets, and he is going to be facing, second game in 2 days could be a bit of a negative.
Some guys might not agree, but momentum matters. And I think this benefits this Winnipeg team on a big way playing back-to-back.
That's why I didn't make it despite the fact that it's clear on my numbers. That's why I didn't make it a 5%.
Guys, we got to move on. Go ahead, Carl.
Okay, just quickly, Dave, to your point. The 2 quick games in succession hurt Winnipeg a little bit because you've got guys who are playing a lot more minutes, taking those minutes that obviously that Line and Sheffley, with those guys missing in the lineup, you've got guys who are playing 3-4 minutes more a game. Doesn't seem like a lot, but trust me, it is a lot when you're playing the second of a back-to-back.
Guys, the Islander game starts in 7 minutes. We've had a couple of people log in late. Let's just summarize that real quick. I lean on the Islanders and the under. Dave leans on Florida. Andrew, what was your summation of that game?
I just said I have the Islanders on the series.
And Carm likes
I don't really have a bet on this.
The Islanders.
And the under.
And the under. So that's a summary of that. I want to give a shout out to some people. Benson. Dave, were you with me? Benson points out that I did give out a rugby play last year. It was with you on first pitch. I'm sure of it. It was England over Japan at the World Championships, and it won. So, way to go, Benson, man. Thank you for being a listener for that long a period of time. Jay Stone, let me run you through. He writes, how do we find the 7-day package? So, Jay Stone, go to anybody's page, like go to WagerTalk or Sports Memo, go to the handicapper button or experts button, go to the page of the handicapper you want to buy, look for the $119 weekly package. Click on that and then use the promo code WEEK69, WEEK69, and that's how you get the 7 days for $69. Carolina Rangers. I was wrong about Calgary. Here's another back-to-back. Carolina minus 145 for the sweep tonight. Over and under 5.5. Dave, I am passing completely in this game. But I would take the under if a gun was held to my head. Talk to me.
Well, I mean, we'll see if it's a different mindset in this quarantine bubble, whatever. But in a regular playoff season, you'd be looking at the Rangers to come out and just empty the tank. Now, I don't know if that's going to be the case in this thing because, you know, it's a playoff qualifier. It's just a whole different set of circumstances, and I suppose you could look at the team and say, oh, that's it. We're not going to win anyway, so let's go home. But the hockey players aren't like that, so I do think you're going to get a big effort out of the Rangers today. I don't know whether it's enough for them to win against what is a superior team, but I do think you'll get a huge effort out of the Rangers today. And generally speaking, if you can get a dog that you know is going to empty the tank, it's not the worst bet in the world.
Yeah, and I agree with you. And it's funny. I was thinking last night watching Chicago was down 6-3 with, 7, 8 minutes to go in the game, and they were skating hard. They were trying to score. And it reminded me, I play hockey every Tuesday night, and there's a guy on my team who played for the Canadian national under-16 team when he was young. That was a long time ago. Whenever we're down like 3-0, 3-1, 2 minutes to go in the game. It's totally out of it. We're just floating around. This guy, Dave, is screaming, keep skating, don't give up, keep skating. And it's what you said, Dave. It's like these guys have it ingrained from day one. Don't quit. Andrew, what are you doing in this game?
I actually don't have a play on this one quite yet anyway, but, here's where I'd look, and this is, I'm still contemplating these, but I think the situation when you look at an elimination game, which is what this is, number one, you have to keep in mind that when you're betting a total in this game, you're probably going to get an empty net goal. If not, you're going to see a team pressing with 4 to 5 minutes left, no matter what way this is going. I think that is definitely a clear edge. When it comes to handicapping elimination games, we're seeing a 5.5 with about even money to the over. So if you like that, you should like it even more, knowing that chances are all hell's going to break loose if it's a 1-goal game, with 2 to 3 minutes to go. So that benefits you. If you like Carolina, do yourself a favor and don't bet the money line. I would say bet the spread here, the minus 1.5. turn that from a little bit of a money line price into a plus 175 number on the point on the puck line here. I mean, it's a simple elimination game strategy. You can get an outstanding price with that, and I think the entire panel would probably agree that if this Carolina team wins this game, it will be by a little bit of a margin. So that's kind of how I would look in this game. To Dave's point, I think if there's a team in the playoffs right now that I think will not give up, it is this New York Rangers team. The problem is, my only regret is not giving out this Carolina team on the series. I mean, they just look evidently like the stronger team throughout.
Yeah, Brenda Moore is a good coach. Carm, firstly, Matt Carpenter, thanks, brother. Really appreciate the kind words. Carm, talk to me.
Yeah, this is a tough game. I think I'm passing mainly on the fact that I have absolutely no idea who is in goal for the Islanders.
Oh, it's got to be.
For the Rangers.
It's got to be good. It's got to be Georgiev.
I think that's where they're gonna. It's Sherstaken's still uncertain, and they're saying unfit to play. And if you have to choose between the two, they can't go with Hank anymore. It's got to be Georgiev. So,
games in 2 days,
but I can't play like a. Personally, I can wait until game time and put a bet in for myself. But as far as my clients go, I can't put a bet out when I don't know who the goaltender is, and I don't have confidence in Henrik right now. So it's one of those ones where the game is a pass. But I absolutely agree with Andrew in the sense of if you like Carolina and you're going to take Carolina, take the puck line instead. If they're up in the third and obviously winning the game. The Rangers are pulling their goalie, not with a minute left, not with 2 minutes left. He's out of the net with 3.5 minutes left as they try and get that game-tying goal. You got a ton of time for that one. So, and if they get up a couple goals, I think the Rangers are absolutely toast and fall apart. So, I would agree with Andrew on the Canes puck line if you like them.
Scott Lafredo, 2 great takes. Guys, you can use that promo code WEEK69 more than once. So if you want to buy all 4 of us for 1 week, $69, use the promo code WEEK69. Last game, boys, Vancouver minus 105 against Minnesota, under and over 5.5. Terry Edelman has been waiting for us to talk about this game since the moment it started. One of the guys in the posting forum wrote plus 200 on Vancouver. Looks fairly tasty. There you go, Scott Lafredo. Plus 200 for Vancouver. I like that bet as well, man. Dave, I'll go to you first. But just remember.
Look, I'm just still kicking myself because I don't know how many times I said it. I said it in the preview show. Then we did a couple of weeks ago. I said it a couple of days ago. I think Minnesota's better than Vancouver at this point in time. And I didn't bet it in game 1, and I didn't bet him in the series, which is just absolutely moronic on my part. So I'm not going to jump on the party too late. I'm probably not going to bet it, but I'm telling you the Wild are a better team than the Canucks. This right now, they might not have a better roster, but down the stretch in the regular season, they were a much better team. And they were, to me, clearly the better team in game 1. This team's got it together right now. Stalock is on the run of his life in goal. And I think Minnesota, I would not be surprised if Minnesota sweeps them.
Yeah, and I don't disagree with you now after watching that first game. And Andrew, you talk a lot about the size of players when it comes to playoff hockey. And it's going to be really interesting to see what Elias does tonight. This guy has to be the scrawniest, thinnest, lightweightest, thinning hairest, great hockey player.
He needs to get on the Bryson DeChambeau diet. I mean, he needs to get the protein shakes going between periods.
This guy literally looks like he's standing on one leg. He's so thin and frail. And he got no space at all last game. They're going to hone in on him again. Minnesota's got a great defense. I can't count on him, man. He's so little.
Yeah, when you have a guy like Mikko Koivu on the 4th line for the Minnesota Wild, that says something. I think he still has something to prove, and I think he's still on a mission. Ryan Donato, Ryan Hartman, I'm talking about the 4th line for the Minnesota Wild because for that exact reason that you just said, is one of the reasons why this team was so successful because they were able to physically push around the Vancouver Canucks and dominate the play. And I always hate sounding like a broken record, but you're not going to score top corner goals all the time in the playoffs. These highlight reel goals are very slim to find in the NHL playoffs. You have to get those dirty goals. And that's why when I see a team, score a goal that's off a knee or off a glove or whatever, I don't even look down upon it because they did something right for that to happen. And, throughout the lineup, I look at Minnesota Wild and I feel like they have all those guys that can do that. They're not outstanding players. It's the same thing I talked about with an earlier game. If we ran a skills competition right now between these two teams in the NHL All-Star game, we know which team would come out on top. But it's the smarts, like Carmine said, that win it. The only thing I look at here, guys, is kind of my theory here about overreacting to one game, and I think that this Vancouver team might just kind of had a little wake-up call, and they might play
it'll
a different style of
be interesting to
hockey.
see. I mean, they're a very young team.
The playoffs are interesting, right, Prez? Because we see, we're all on Twitter. We see what people say and stuff, and we're doing these shows every day. But it's one game still. It's just like you guys told me the Montreal game was one game. They got shut out yesterday, and it's just every time it's just one game. We have to see if Vancouver can respond. I had the over in the last game. Unders are going crazy this playoffs, so that's a losing ticket that I had. But I really don't think Vancouver gets shut out, and I 5.5 at a pretty good plus price here. It's real tempting for me.
Carmine, this show's been running on. Now listen, we've had lots of stuff to talk about. Plus, I think I've mentioned the promo code Week69 about 400 times to the point where Koken just shakes his head. Go ahead, Carl.
Yeah. Well, it's there. I'm not going to listen. Minnesota played a great game in shutting Vancouver down. But this game was won on special teams. Let's put it there. 2 power play goals for Minnesota, an empty net goal, and you got 5-on-5. Neither team scored a goal. Travis Green's got to, again, get his team to play smarter. Vancouver's got to play smarter. I know I keep using that phrase, but it's one of those things. You can't take stupid penalties. These cross-checking, too many men on the ice, slashing, tripping. Yeah. You can't take these penalties. You put yourself in such a hole when you go down in a game because you end up going down in a series, and that's where Vancouver is now. If you believe Vancouver is going to win tonight, then that plus 200 to win the series is a bet you want to make as well too. I talked about yesterday. Pittsburgh was minus 105 to win the series. I said if you're going to take Pittsburgh, you might as well take the series. And Pittsburgh is now minus 250 in that series. Edmonton was plus 140 after losing game 1. And they were minus 170 to win that series. And now Edmonton's, I think, minus 160 to win the series. So going on the same premise, if you think these teams are evenly matched and you believe Vancouver is going to win tonight, then I think you take that plus 200 series as well, too, for half a unit or what have you. But I'm holding out for Vancouver to play a better game. They're going to have to play a better game because if Minnesota matches their own effort from game 1, they're going to make it extremely tough for Vancouver to win this game. So I'm still going to take the price is very short, so I'm going to take Vancouver minus 105 to win this game.
Yeah, and I just want to give you a shout out for yesterday with the Edmonton and Pittsburgh series bets. That was great stuff, Carm. Guys, let's call it a show. Listen, everybody, thank you so much. What's coming up today? We got first pitch with Andrew McGinnis at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock Eastern, right?
Yeah, you can mention that I'm on that show every day too,
Dave.
I love Dave.
It's all about you. Andrew's just a
And also, by the way, I'm baseball best bets on a 21-7-1 run.
That's crazy.
So and you might want to check that show out.
And how cool you are leaning back with that hat and just looking so awesome.
I always look awesome.
You really do, Dave. I mean, flat out, you look freaking awesome.
Well, I got some pictures from 40 years ago. I don't look quite as good.
Well, you were in your prime. You were around 35 then.
Fucking A, Bubba.
Okay, boys. Carm, I love you. Andrew, you're the best. Dave, you're a legend. I am the Prez. Thank you guys all for watching Puck Time. Make sure to check out Andrew McGinnis and Dave Koken at 2 p.m. for First Pitch. NBA show hosted by Steve Merrill at 3 p.m. Eastern. Tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern, we are back with Puck Time. No Dave Koken,
No, I'm off tomorrow.
He's off tomorrow, but back on Thursday. And Carm is hosting the show on Thursday, so make sure to check that out. I love you all. Have yourselves an incredible day of hockey.
Let's win some games. Come on, let's go.
Okay, bye.
Go Blue Jackets.
Bye.